Hey everyone, we're going to be doing something a little different this week. I've got Maajid Nawaz jumping on a Skype call shortly. He and Sam Harris are co-authors of a new book about Islam, and Maajid is a former Islamic extremist himself. A ton of you guys have been asking us to sit down, but he lives in London, so we thought we'd give the Skype thing a shot. Actually, he's in New York at the moment. I saw a picture of him and Morgan Freeman in a mosque yesterday, so I'm going to ask him about that and much more in a little bit. But first, let's do a little housekeeping. I want to talk about some of the principles we laid out in the first episode and some of the reaction to last week's show. It seems that a bunch of you weren't thrilled with my guest, Jimmy Dore. Jimmy is a hardcore lefty progressive and uses some of the tactics I mentioned that I wouldn't be using on the show. First, let me just say that I can only hold myself to the rules that I laid out. If I stopped and mentioned something every time a guest said something that goes against my personal rules, the show would be incredibly slow and horrifically painful. More importantly, as we build a community based on tolerance and other ideas, it's important that we remain tolerant of ideas we don't like. Jimmy is a great friend of mine. We've worked together on air for years. We've done stand-up gigs together, and I've had him and his wife over for dinner numerous times. Yeah, we don't agree on everything, including some pretty big issues, but I think life is about more than just scoring who is right on everything all the time. The most interesting part of last week's response was that some people said the episode was an echo chamber and I didn't push back enough. Other people questioned why I even had people I disagree with on at all. And that's the beauty of the internet, right? We can all be part of the same exact conversation and still see it through our individual prisms. Good journalism is the search for truth. This show will be a battle of ideas, not just having our own ideas reinforced. You know, there's so much intolerance of the other on both sides, and I think we can create something that's so much better than that. Actually, I don't just think it, I know it, because I see it already happening. Last week, I had a hardcore progressive lefty. This week, I have a former Islamist extremist turned moderate trying to reform his religion. Next week, I have a gay conservative from Breitbart, Milo Yiannopoulos. I won't agree with all of them all the time, but I most likely won't shout them down either. I have enough faith in you guys that if we have an honest conversation here, the truth will present itself. This, of course, reminds me of the Galactic Republic in the early days of the Death Star. Grand Moff Tarkin wanted to stifle debate because they had the most powerful super laser in the universe. Of course, let's not forget that Darth Vader said that the Death Star was nothing compared to the power of the Force. The Force is on our side. Let's use it wisely.